Welcome to another Top 5 Tuesday. This is going to be released on Wednesday because I'm a big old procrastinator. But today we're talking Studio Ghibli, and it's going to be lots of fun. And this wasn't a video that I really wanted to skip out on because it's something that I'm super passionate about. Studio Ghibli are one of the best animation studios there are out there. I don't know if I could definitively call them the best because Pixar is very close and there's a couple other studios that have their own case to make. However, it can't be understated how important and influential Studio Ghibli has been for animation. Not only have they stayed to the 2D format, they've added their own style of emphasizing things like nature, passion, just a whole slew of amazing emotions, and they're able to do it quite well. There's a ton of great films to pick from, so it was hard to narrow down my list, but I've got my 5 favorites, and here we go. Number 5, I have Castle in the Sky. This is a film that I didn't really get on the first watch. I thought it was a little bit too long, it dragged in certain parts, but then I saw it in the theater, and things sort of changed. It felt magical. There's a certain uniqueness to Castle in the Sky. It's very quiet at the beginning. The themes of nature are probably one of the best Studio Ghibli's ever done. Additionally, the voice cast, both subbed and dubbed, is phenomenal. That's a thing you'll hear me say about all the Ghibli films. They have amazing voice casts. Additionally, the score in this is absolutely terrific. Also, the epicness of a fantasy adventure story is a lot of fun and reminiscent of Indiana Jones in a lot of ways. There's a certain bravado to it, but it still maintains that delicate nature that Studio Ghibli loves. My favorite scenes are these weirdly macho things that sort of stick out. I mean, when they're having the exploding shirt fight-off scene, it's awesome. This is a movie I want a lot of people to check out, but it wouldn't be the first film I'd recommend for Studio Ghibli. I think there's a lot of beats that Studio Ghibli has, and having that preconceived notion of what's going on will make you enjoy this watch even more. Also, Mark Hamill plays one of the villains, and he's amazing! So definitely check out Castle in the Sky. It's worth your time.
Beyond that cloud is a floating city that no one here on Earth believes exists.
At number 4, I have Only Yesterday. This film surprised me. And there's a couple of Studio Ghibli films that surprised me. I actually have only watched this one dubbed. I think the dub is really, really good, but I've heard a lot of people say that the subbed is a whole lot better. But the voice cast is amazing for Only Yesterday. It handles these themes of childhood and growing up and remembering the fondness and all the bad times from your youth. It handles these memories in a really mature way, and I absolutely fell in love with the story. The main character, Taiko, is really fascinating and drives the narrative. Studio Ghibli is amazing because it has a ton of films that just have these empowering female characters. That is no different here. Taiko is who she is, and she doesn't bother changing for anybody else. Only Yesterday is a really compelling story. There's a lot of great comedy. There's amazing emotional beats to it, and I think a lot of people will have fun with this one.
You can't be serious. Mother! You can't trust boys, even if you have a crush on them.
At number 3, I have The Wind Rises. Similar to Only Yesterday, this one surprised me, but even more. Wind Rises was thought to be my last Studio Ghibli film that I'd seen for the first time. Later, I'd find out Secret World of Arietta I still hadn't seen. However, it just felt magical going back to this world for one of the last times in a first viewing. But Wind Rises is something special that stands above the rest of Ghibli. It handles a very mature story, and what it's able to do with passion, with adventure, with the beauty of flight, all these things just weave together, and it makes for an absolutely compelling story. It's something that I just kept thinking to myself, this is a modern masterpiece. And I hope a lot of people feel the same way about Wind Rises. It's a little long, but that's what makes it epic, and the grandness of the story is only because of how much time and care they put into certain elements of the story. Definitely check out Wind Rises. It's absolutely incredible, but there's 2 others that I think are a little bit better than it. Moving on to number 2, I have Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. This film is exactly what I want in movies. When I watched it for the first time, I said, yep, this is what I love. It blends the charm and wit of an Indiana Jones or any of those fun adventure fantasy movies that I was talking about with Castle in the Sky. Specifically, what stands out is the pace and rhythm to this film. It's absolutely beautiful. The score is what keeps this moving so well. The characters are lovely and bouncy, and the animation really works to help this. There's just a ton of amazing moments in Lupin III that it just makes it one of my favorite films ever. Lupin is a compelling protagonist, the rest of the ensemble of characters are lots of fun, and the villain really chews up the screen time in a fun way. Definitely check out Lupin the Third. I wouldn't say this one's for everyone. This is more of a personal recommendation. If you like really bouncy, fun action movies, that's exactly what you're gonna get here. There's just not a lot of movies that can have that same pace and bounce that Lupin the Third is able to have. So check it out if you're looking for that.
Don't you get it? Yeah, at last I found a challenge worthy of my talent.
All I can say is I sure hope you know what you're doing, boss.
And finally, at number 1, I have... Haha, just kidding. You guys got punked! My number 1 film will actually be reviewed this Friday. I'll be going over Hayao Miyazaki and why he's so important to Japanese animation. I know this feels like a cop-out, but I sort of wanted to talk about this film extensively, and it didn't feel right doing a little bit shorter version in a top 5, and this way more people will check out the Foreign Film Friday videos. So make sure to check that out on Friday. If you like this video, feel free to let us know. Also, share your favorite Studio Ghibli films. Are there ones I missed? What do you think my number 1 is? Thanks for watching.